All right, one last thing is the modifieds. I mean, is there too much modifieds now? There's the Tour, there's the Monaco Modifieds, there's the MRS, there's the Stafford Open 80s. Thompson still has the Outlaw stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even taking into consideration the Southern New Hampshire stuff that they have with those tracks, right? And I think Pass has there's Pass Modifieds.
They came out with the 604 mods this year at Thompson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And those are what they're running up north.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, listen, I guess it can't be a bad thing because other than maybe the MRS, I don't know what the MRS is getting for car counts, but I don't think it's what it used to be.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, because they're based up there.
Yeah, they are. They don't really come down here anymore.
Well, because they don't.
Other than the World Series.
When they
right?
came to Stafford, I don't know if you were there, Fro. Were you ever there?
Probably. Wait, when who?
The MRS came.
They stopped coming, I think, when Stafford started.
So
the
every
open
I don't think so.
Every SK guy pretty much had an MRS car.
Yeah.
It was a big field, 35
Yeah.
cars for an MRS race. When they came down to the bowl, they used to be awesome.
MRS got to this point where I thought they were going to challenge the NASCAR mods, and almost
They were close.
but it only lasted like a year or two.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like fell off the cliff, really. And then soon after the Tri-Track came, and now but they've been hanging with them now, I think.
The Tri-Track?
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know. I don't see how more modified racing can be bad. You know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
series kind of push each other to be a little bit better without if you didn't have those other series competing.
Well, I told you
the
what
SKs could just be stagnant.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Probably some of my least favorite modified racing right now is probably the SK.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's shocking to hear. What
Well,
about SK Lights?
I love the SK lights. I love the SK lights at Stafford.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Fantastic.
Just amazing.
They're
Super
better than the
speedway style
SKs.
racing.
I
no,
told you.
easily.
They are better than the SKs. Now, the SK racing at Stafford's great, but, still the pinnacle for me is the Whelen Tour.
Yep.
I know the Tri-Track brings a lot of good stuff.
See, I'm almost at the point now where I don't know if I understand that the NASCAR mods still have that prestige to them,
Oh, yeah.
and without a doubt, Doug Colby, Justin Bonsignor, they are top guys. If you wanted to build the Mount Rushmore of top modified drivers right now,
They're on the
they're
tour.
on it.
Yep.
But other than those two guys, you can see all the rest of them on the Tri-Track Series with, I think, better second-tier cars than what you have on the NASCAR Tour.
Oh, the parodies, definitely.
And that's why I think the Tri-Track Series, you can make the argument they have a better product top to bottom now in their field.
They bring more cars.
Yep.
They definitely bring a great product to wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that they're going to start getting watered down, though, because they're like, maybe I'm wrong, but they're going to Thompson now with the Tri-Track. That's not what that series was originally about.
That's true. They're supposed to be bull rings. Yep.
Yeah, now it's what happens is as soon as they start going to these big tracks, the guy with the little 18-degree motor can no longer run with them.
Yeah.
Right? Now the guy with the $50,000-$60,000 tour type motor is the only one that could run.
But
in front
is that what the Tri-Track was supposed to be? Like that's
It was supposed to be.
What you're describing is what I thought the MRS was supposed to be when they started.
Well, when I know this, when Dick Williams and Jimmy Schaefer and the racing guys started the Tri-Track series,
yep.
that was everything was about helping the little guy. Right? Because the Whelen Tour and all these guys, anybody that wanted to run an open tour type modified, if you went to the Whelen Tour, you just got your ass handed to you regularly.
Yeah, right.
Right? So they started the Tri-Track. Everybody got paid well throughout. And if you notice, they never ran a big track. Every track was 3/8 or smaller. So anybody could come almost with an SK type motor with an intake, an exhaust, smaller clutch. You could almost run with a tour type car. So it just put on a better race, and guys started the race was getting $1,000, $1,500 to start the race.
Right.
It's moved on from that. The Tri-Track is now starting to become almost like they're battling with the Whelen Tour, right? To see who is the top dog of New England. I don't know.
See, I think the Tri-Track is.
It is.
I think so.
Yeah. So,
I mean, listen, it's all about.
So I mean, it just validates my point I just made.
Yeah.
I still think that the Whelen Tour has the prestige to it. When they show up and the Whelen Tour haulers are all in there and the big boys are all in there, it's just something different.
But I'll counter that when saying that, I think I mentioned this before, but the two tracks with the biggest mojo going right now in New England is Stafford and Thunder Road. Tri-Track goes to both of them. The Tour doesn't go to neither of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't. Their schedule's not great.
Yeah. Well,
and there's a lot of traveling. I mean, they do go to Martinsville, right? They do go to. I mean, you got to go to New Smyrna, which okay, but then are they still going to South Boston or what are they? Rockingham? I forget. They have another race down south, right? So I mean, I don't know if you're up for that kind of travel. I guess it's good, but
yeah.
I truthfully hear, just from like at the track, as much hype around the Tri-Track Series as I do with the Mod Tour now. Like when I see like Tri-Track logos plastered up everywhere, I'm like, oh, like a big event is coming.
Let me tell you, let's ask this question. Would the fans at the Sizzler rather see the Tri-Track race or the opener to the Whelen Tour?
That's a good question.
To me, it's not even debatable. I mean, it's debatable.
I think they would buy a. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say buy a hair, but I think they would want to see the tour.
Me too.
I really do.
Me too.
I just feel like that's the crowd.
I don't know. I think the tour would put just the cherry on top of the cake.
It would
at the Sizzler again.
I would say you're right in terms of prestige, but especially in terms of on-track product now, I don't know. I think they're batting like eye to eye pretty much.
So I'm looking at the tour schedule. So they do race at New Hampshire, which the Tri-Track does not.
That would be a huge.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's the super speedway of New England.
Yep.
And they race at Martinsville, and Martinsville has a pretty rich history of modified racing. So they can counter my argument with Stafford and Thunder Road. Those are two pretty big tracks that Tri-Track doesn't go to. So
it's not. So I don't want to sit here and think that I'm bashing the Tri-Track because they've definitely put a premier product in front of people. There is no doubt. And what Wayne Darlin and all those guys have done there has been tremendous. They've taken what Dick Williams and Jimmy Schaefer and the racing guys started and brought it to the next level. You know, they may put out the same product, but it's almost like you have to work overtime to knock off the Whelen Tour.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? Like you could be eye to eye, but you need to have something else to knock them off still. And when they show up at Thompson, the Whelen Tour, I will go and watch that race at Thompson. I love the race there. I love watching the tour at Thompson. Fast, high bank. It's a good race. And, the Tri-Track race, it doesn't hold that same special place in my heart to go watch. Just me, though.
Yeah. I do get that angle. Like, you see NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and people go, oh, NASCAR's here. Yeah. Like, this is a big event.
But those guys are, there's not a lot of ham and eggers, and not that there's not probably a lot in Tri-Track anymore either.
Right.
But they're all just top notch pretty much. If you're racing in that series, you're not messing around.
Yeah.
Right? Nice haulers.
Tri-Track will never get the name brand recognition, like you're saying. When they come in and see the NASCAR logo, you can't. They'll never replace that.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is with me, because that's why I said I didn't mean to bash the Tri-Track. I'm not trying to do that because they are tremendous.
I guess I'm a little like just overall. I'm like down on NASCAR. Like it's not, to me. It's just not prominent in the New England anymore. Remember what a big deal it was that Keith won the national championship, and now the tracks aren't even NASCAR sanctioned.
Right.
Seekonk still is.
Right.
But the Connecticut tracks aren't.
None of them.
And it's like, the tour is now going to Thompson, but they don't go to Stafford. And I don't know. It's just kind of like, is it weird to say that I feel like NASCAR is like, it's like outdated almost?
Yeah, yeah. What is the vibe, though? So I've never been to Stafford for a Tri-Track race. You guys know. What's the vibe in the pit area? I mean, is it
chaos.
The vibe is bigger than the open mod races for sure.
Yeah.
It's a
Easily.
pretty
That's
big
another
event.
one that I think's watered down, and we discussed that before.
The open
Yeah.
mod 80s is just too many.
Too many.
Too many.
They've lost the stigma of
Yep.
of what it was about, because that's what I got worried about the tri-track. And now all of a sudden they're running all these big tracks.
Right.
They're doing something almost like the Open 80 did. They had made so many of them that it may have watered it down a little and lost. Because I think there was times I'd watch and there's only like 14 cars.
In the open 80s?
Yes.
Wow.
Right. Did that happen this year? Or am I mistaken in that?
I think the lowest car count we had for an open 80 was still pretty high. I think it
Oh,
was
was
like
it?
23 or something
Was
like
it
that.
really?
I don't remember there being like a sub 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong then, but I thought I remember because I didn't see like some of the big names here that I've always seen. So they've kind of stopped showing up for all the races, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you've seen the Open 80s, you've seen big names for the last couple of years, and this year they kind of all just slowed down and got out of there a little bit, I thought, but
Yeah, like if they were doing like the tour or like some like the open 80s, I feel like you didn't have like Ronnie Silk a lot or
Right.
like Matt Hirschman.
right.
And that's kind of like the different feel. It's like, okay, you're not going to get the big names that you're used to.
Maybe
as
that's
much.
just what it is. It started losing the big names because it lost the prestige of what they were. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, that was the whole point of it, was that anyone could show up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you wanted the big names from all the divisions to come, and if they're not coming, it's just kind of like a whatever event. Like,
Yeah.
it feels less important than a tri-track event now
Right.
for that reason.
How many open 80 guys are not already in the SK or SK light field?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
I can't say the exact number, but
What
I
do you
feel
mean?
like
So they have the same car, right? So you're saying,
Just the same drivers in another division.
right? They didn't have cars. How many cars would show up?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Maybe 10.
Yeah, so how much value is that to just have the same drivers in another car that goes a little bit faster?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something to headline the event. Like,
Yeah.
it makes you want to buy the ticket, even though the on-track
Sure.
product is kind of just whatever.
Ooh, I like that.
That is a great one.
All right. I think we got enough content for me to chop up.
Me too.